Well, hi guys, welcome to the session. My name's Paul, this is Plan Zed. Hopefully this finds you very well. And thank you if you've been subscribing for your curiosity and your support. Glad you've been enjoying the content. Now, in yesterday's little video, I kind of gave you a little sound clip of where I'm at with my searching for a cloud as a starting point. Stumbled across something. This is what we heard yesterday. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a few patches, but in this one let's just get orientated. So I've got a couple of amps here. I've got a Deluxe and a Twin. We're running through dynamic IRs. I've got a 112 on the Deluxe and a 212 on my Twin. And then down here we need to talk about this before we get into the EQ blocks. So here I've got two EQ blocks that are dealing with EQ that are a mid push specific to the amp. So I'm pushing the Twin on at about 1.25k and I'm pushing the Deluxe at about 1k. Okay, but down here after the reverbs, I've got my low cut, I've got the high cut and the mid shaping, okay, and then the high shaping. We'll get into those EQs to keep this video short in the amp videos. Now the other day, I'll link below, I did a little video on compressors and I'm using the stereo compressor mastering style technique I described in that video. If you want to check out that session, I'll link it below in case you're curious. So here we do have a compressor to help us shape this tone. And in another patch that we're going to go to in a minute, I've put some other tools in this back end here, okay, to help us along. So, but here, at the moment, I'm set. When I go to what I'm calling my cloud setting, it's Hall 2. And really, the things that are important is you want to crank your density, play around with the tone. We're going to look at that in a minute. But here, when I've got the heel back, I want to talk you through what's going on with the assign so you can understand what happens in a minute. With the heel back, the time is on 0.5 seconds. The level comes back to 30. Sorry, I lied, 20. Giving me like a short haul, yeah? In here, I've got the pre-delay on 60. I'm doing a low cut to 100, high cut to 10k, leaving the damps alone in this patch. And the modulation is on a rate of 65, but when the heel is back, the level is on 0, so the depth 0. As it goes up on the foot pedal, the expression pedal, we get a bit more mods, and then when we get to the end, we've got the level on 70 and we've maxed out the time, I've got the depth on 40. Obviously no direct mix coming through here. So anyway, that's how this patch is set. But the thing that's nice about this patch, or that I'm starting to really enjoy about it, is when I change this button here at the bottom of the screen, it's going to go green. We're now in the spring. Now if I pull the heel all the way back, we've still got all the same settings that are assigned. The only one that is different is the pre-delay here. I have it on 1 millisecond, so that when I pull the heel right back, I've got very little reverb there at all. It's just, it will shape me in a mix. If I give myself a bit of heel, just we're on the Twin at the moment, but let's blend that with the Deluxe. Just crank the heel on that. Now the only problem with doing this strategy with having changing in the block is you cut off your trails when you make the change. So you need to be strategic with how you're going to change using this strategy, okay? But it's nice being able to go through all of that with my spring and then come back to, or have my cloud style to drop in. So let's come out of there. I then thought, okay, I'm going to do another patch. Let's do it, let's make it darker. So it's basically the same patch, but I've done two things. One, I've taken the tone out to, it was on 30, but here it's on -17. We're in Hall 2, but when I press the button this time, we don't get a spring, we get the Hall 1. And here, all the settings stay the same. I've just changed the tone a little bit, because obviously the Hall 1's a bit brighter. So let's go Hall 2 and then Hall 1. So I've done the Hall 1 a bit brighter than the Hall 2 there. Now, I then went, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another 3 patches, and this time we're going to do some very simple changes. So in this patch, I've brought the tone back up a bit. Let's go to the Hall 1. Now the main difference between the Hall 1 and the Hall 2 is the Hall 2 is meant to be modelling a larger space, okay, so it does feel bigger or louder. But I actually prefer it for kind of heading for this kind of tone. So staying that we've done that, I copied that patch, and in this one I cranked the damp. Okay, and what I mean by that is the high damp and the low damp, I've just maxed them out. Okay, so what you've got is this patch, we're set as I just showed you. The second patch, all the damps are cranked like I just showed you. Let's go back to the first one. Bring in the damps. Sorry about that. Hopefully you can hear the difference there. And then let's take all the damps away. What I mean by that is I took them all away. What's quite nice is I can stick the audio to one side and we can really hear our reverb on the right there because it's all around us. Okay, so that, just playing with the damp there, once I'd settled on a tone, doing the 3 versions, just changing the damp really, I think, changes the reverb quite a lot when you go to the extremes. This is with flat damp. with damp. It kind of almost extends the life of the reverb. It's a lot brighter, so I might need to... Quite like it though. Taking the damp away. So it's really powerful, I think. As a reverb, that hall, I think I've kind of gotten close to a cloud, but I can get different shapes, and I know the more I play with that, the more fun I'll have. Now, I have put here, I'm going to try and keep this video short, but I want to plant seeds. I've got I've put a compressor down here, but I'm going to use this effects block for different things. I've put a delay block here. We're going to put different delays before and after these patches. I want to show you how we can kind of get, a slightly more dynamics out of it. And I've brought a boost block down here so that we can shape the tone. And let's just experiment with that very quickly. So if this is our original tone, this will be a mono block, so it will kill us to mono. Let's turn that down, that up. And even if we turn up our signal, we're still going to be mono, which could be a really nice effect. So let's have a look at that. Let's take this divide that I'm using for something else. Let's open it up. I need to remember I've done this. And let's start out keeping ourselves in stereo here. Take the spread off. But in this side, we're going to run a parallel distortion block. Take all the dry signal out. Let's see what happens. Just need to level this. So you know what, let's go to something that's got a bit of Okay, so I quite like what's happening there. I can add in some distortions to my reverb now. Okay, so I'll be looking at that. What I might do is, no, I'm not going to save anything there. I'll just do that again another time. Before I head out of Dodge, just want to whet your appetite with a shimmer. Now, in this one, I took a copy of one of the templates at some point along the way, and I did the off with the changing the reverb here. So the reverb stays on Shimmer. What changes is here. So without any we've got another space there. That's quite nice. Let's bring up the bring in some. Okay, so over the next few videos, we're going to be exploring these reverbs and dual amp setups. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that, and I'll see you soon. Take care, bye bye.